Today, the project I want to talk about is about an automation project. So, automation is really popular these days, home automation. And I love automation. A lot of people think that automation, though, has to be overly complicated, and it doesn't. In fact, it's too complicated, it's not good automation. So, automation doesn't mean voice activated everything and super complicated cloud based stuff. There's a really simple thing that will automate part of your house and will really make something easier for you. And that's a fan timer. Okay? So when you're in a bathroom, usually there's a fan. It's usually over the shower or over the toilet, and it ventilates the room. And when you turn it on, you got to leave it on for 5-10 minutes or something to really ventilate the room. The problem is you got to remember to turn it back off. So there's a really cool little device that fits right here. This is a fan timer. I'm going to zoom into it and show it to you in a second, but all it does is it simplifies your life. Let me show it to you. So this thing's real simple. This is what it looks like. I've bought several of these. Almost every fan in my house has one of these on it already. In fact, of all the fans in my house, all of them do but one. So today we're going to do the last one. So if you look, there's buttons. There's a button that says 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and 60 minutes. And you can get these different ways, but it is as simple as that. If you finish showering and you want to run the fan for 5 minutes, you just push that button. And you heard the fan come on, and it will run for 5 minutes and it'll just turn off. If you change your mind, you want to do 10, you just push that button. You see there's a little light comes on next to each one. Actually, how this thing works is as the countdown goes down, once we're under 5 minutes, this light will come on. So it's like if you started at 30, the light would move down every few minutes to show you how much time it has left. There is an off button that you can use to just turn it off. And it's as simple as that. So no connection to the cloud, no Alexa voice commands. It is really simple. And I'm telling you, you'll be surprised on just how convenient this is, having one of these fan timers. So that fan timer, I think, is about $30 or $40 a piece. So not really cheap, but really for what you're getting, it's not bad. So if you come in here with me, this is a little bitty room in my master bathroom where the toilet is, and this is going to be where we're actually going to do it. So this is the switch that was currently put in when the house was built. You know, there's a light switch, and then there's just a fan switch. You know, just like all houses are wired. So it's actually all in one fixture. There it is up there. And we're going to go through the steps of replacing this switch with the fan timer. So I'm just going to quickly show you what tools we're going to use today. At least these are the tools I think I'm going to use. Haven't started yet. This is a headlight. This is just a flashlight you mount on your head. This is the actual fan timer itself. We're going to open that in a second. Might not need these, but I'm going to carry a pair of needle nose pliers, wire strippers, a cordless screwdriver with a Phillips bit in it, which you don't have to have, but I just like using a drill instead of turning a real screwdriver a lot. A small flathead, a Phillips, and then a multimeter, and that's just for the voltage sensor that's in it. Okay, so this is the actual light timer. Like I said, I bought this one on the internet for $30 or $40. So you get some wire nuts and some screws in that little bag. Here's the actual device, and you got some instruction sheets. And that's really all you get. It's got a caution thing on it that says do not wire hot. Can't believe that they have to actually tell people that, but I guess so. So this is the schematic that is with the little device. It shows you how to wire it up. So you can see there's 3 wires. They're colored black, green, and red. Really, really simple. Green is the ground, black is the hot line, and then the red wire will hook to your fixture that you're going to turn on and off. And in our case is a fan light fixture, and we're going to be switching the fan. Okay, here's our switch, and the first thing we're going to do is take this faceplate off. Now at this point, power's still on, and I'm going to go ahead and pull them out. It's up to you. Some people like to actually turn the power off before they pull them out from the wall, and that's cool too, but I'm going to show you why I'm going to leave it on. So let's do this. So you can see I got it pulled out. This switch is still wired, it's still hot. You can see that it works. So this is the switch we want to replace. I have pulled it out from the wall with the power still on. Here's the reason why I like to do that, because I know we just saw the fan come on and off, but I like to be 100% sure. So I got this little tool I can put on NCV, and it will detect the presence of voltage. And this is how we're going to confirm that the power is off 100% before we touch it. In this case, it's real simple. The top one is hot, and it's real simple to check because we can just see if the fan comes on. But I like to check it with that tool too, because I want to be 100% sure I don't get shocked. Okay, I'm in the electrical room in my house, and right behind me is the load centers where the circuit breakers are. So the next step then is to turn the power off so you can work on the switch without getting yourself hurt. So everybody's house is going to be different in this case, but I'll show you how I'm going to find my circuit. So here at my house, I designed it, so I know where everything is. I know how everything's wired. I know where everything's mounted because I drew it all up and I designed it. This big poster behind me is a printout of the electrical diagram schematic for my house, so I can see where every single circuit goes. Now you're only going to have that if you're at Casa de Willis, my house, which I designed and did all this dorky stuff to. Otherwise, you're just going to need to flip breakers until you find the right one. So we are in the master bath toilet room, which is right here. And as you can see, there's a fan light fixture right there, and two switches on the wall, and they are controlled by circuit number 1. How about that? So we're just going to go over here. I got 2 load centers, so I put 400 amp service in my house. So 1 through 32 is in one box, 33 through 64 is in another. And we're just going to go right here to number 1 and turn it off. Okay, here we are. We're under flashlight now because the power's off. Flipping the switch did not turn the fan on. We'll check it with our voltage sensor. It's important to check it with the same voltage sensor while the power's on. That way you know your voltage sensor works. So we're certain the power's off now, and we can touch these, and it won't get hurt. This is the top one, it's the hot one. Something else I want to point out is this particular switch was push-in wired. And what that means is the wires were just stripped and pushed in a little hole. If we wanted to actually disconnect this, we'd have to stick a small tool into a slot right there and release it. We're actually not going to do that. I want to do it the lazy way and the quicker way because I'm not going to keep this switch. I've got so many of these. I'm just going to cut it. Remember, this one's hot. I'm just going to cut it because it's actually not necessary to undo it because I'm just going to throw this old switch away. So we're using wire nuts, so we want about 1/2 inch or so. We want about 1/2 inch of wire sticking out for a wire nut. Okay. So the pre-strip length on this guy, these are a lot longer than I like to do for a wire nut, so I'm going to cut these down to about 1/2 inch. Okay, so if you remember, black goes to hot, and the hot one is the top one, so we'll go ahead and wire that one and get that one out of the way. So for a wire nut, you just have to locate the 2 wires next to each other and insert. You don't actually have to twist them together, and you really can't with these hard wires, the solid core wires. Okay, red was the wire to go to the fixture. That was the bottom one. green goes to ground. Okay, now what we're going to do is these solid wires work best if they're just kind of compressed into the back of the box. So I'm going to do that. The other thing is this thing's pretty deep, so it needs some room inside the box. So I'm going to press these back in there real good. Okay, here we are. I've just turned the breaker back on. Obviously the light's working again now. We're just going to test this thing out. Looks like it's working. Looks good. I tested all the buttons. So all we got to do now is put the faceplate back on and we're all set. Okay guys, so as you can see, that was an easy project to do. Took maybe 30 minutes, and that was because I was talking during most of it. Be careful when you're working with electricity. Always make sure the breaker's off. Always test to make sure the voltage is not present any longer before you start working on it. This was an easy job, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time for the next video.